Okay, I get to admit, if I'm making a video, I'm supposed to be perky about perky. I'm supposed to be excited about this. How can you be excited about this? This is about making a function for taxes and sculpting. Okay? And it's the second time I've made the video, and I thought there is about nothing other than a kind of really simple examples I show. There should be nothing very complicated with this one. All right, and of course, when I made a video at first, I screwed up. Okay, press Shift Control C. So here's our example. We have 100 in EBITDA. And then we're going to take our EBITDA and subtract interest. And notice the interest came from down below, which says, uh-oh, circular reference. And then we're going to take, well, and then that gives you our EBT. Now we don't have taxes. I mean, we don't have depreciation, and depreciation has some IDC and some amortization of fees, and that causes another circular reference problem. And I put a zero interest rate. Let's put a 5% and a 20% tax in here. Okay. Now, I probably made another mistake. Now we have some taxes. Now this CFADS right now, I said, oh, that's just 100. And then if that's 100, well, we take the NPV here, not of our CFADS, but our target debt service. That gives you the balance of the debt, and it all works beautifully. And then we don't need a function, but here's what I did. If the CFADS is the EBITDA minus the taxes, then we have our dreaded blue lines. Okay, that is exciting. That's a political issue. Going around and around and around. I've talked about that too much. There, it's almost an illustration. Our interest comes from down here. Our taxes going to CFADs. That drives our CFADs, drives our debt service. But then we have to take the NPV of that debt service, and that NPV of the debt service drives the interest, which drives the taxes. And you have a circular reference. So to fix that, we could do this, what we could do is copy and edit base special as values, and then we'd have it, but then we'd have to do our regular old, copy paste, and I'm not going to do that again. So instead, I am going to take this from a function. And what we can do is see if our function, we're going to make a function right here, and our function is going to be called NPV on taxes. And I just made that. Hang on, I'm going to delete my old one. So I made a blank macro, or to, assign macro you could create. I made it called the tax function, and I just deleted what we did before, so that way we can find it. Don't run this macro, just go to assign the macro and go to edit, and then we said, I said, well, let's name it NPV taxes to remember what we're going to do. Let's see if I screw up this time. So you put function NPV underscore taxes. Okay, and then you go down here, and just above the function you put NPV taxes. They have to be equal to something, and let's put debt balance, because that's what we're going to compute. Now, this looks bad if I start spelling things incorrectly. Now somewhere up here we'll compute the debt balance, and that's going to be the NPV at the interest rate of the debt service. Now, what we do here, that's not that hard, and we put interest rate here, because that's just a simple input, and then we've got to get the debt service. Now, for you young people, I used to have to allocate space to arrays and all that. God, did that suck? That was not a swear word. And then, so we need a loop to put it in here. Now to make a loop, we can put for I equal 1 to the EBITDA dot count. So the next thing we're going to read is into our function EBITDA. And you almost could put, how about I'll put vector. Just so that's a fancy kind of thing to say. Just so we remember that that's not like the other ones. That's actually a function. And then we're going to go around. Now, the thing that I didn't show you that I put option base 1 at the top. Okay, and then we go around and loop around essentially the repayment period. And the first thing you do, you put interest equals debt balance, which we have down there, times the interest rate. Okay, get that first. And then you can put EBT equals EBIT dA vector, and that means it takes an I minus, careful, minus the interest. Now I think we should be transparent and follow our religion, our flexible, accurate, structured, transparent religion, and be as transparent as we possibly can with all these things. And then we say, well, taxes equal, I'll put taxes, equals EBT times the tax rate. So we better read in the tax rate. Not so hard so far. And then we put CFADS equals EBITDA vector with the I minus the taxes. Sometimes I have, and then finally debt service. But when you put in debt service, use whatever it's called, a little thinger. CFADS divided by DSCR. Now hopefully that DSCR won't be 0, so you can put DSCR. And then we have it. And then we have to now go around another loop. So let's indent those and put for I equal 1 to 10. Now, you know, I've been lazy lately. Next, we could do something where we get this. So we go around and we recompute the debt balance after we've got the taxes. We need the interest to get the taxes. I think if we did the interest afterwards, which I sometimes used to do recently, we'd have a problem. So now let's go back and try it. So we go back and notice I haven't switched off the machine. I'm really brave. Equal NPV, and we find the taxes. And then we press Shift F3, and it says get the interest rate. So we'll get the interest rate. And then it says get the EBITDA vector. See, did that help? I don't know if that helped. That was the idea. Oh, shit. That was not intentional. I just had a trigger. And then we put the tax rate. And then we put the DSCR. And then we press OK. Ah, shoot. Control V. Oh, no. Okay, well, I should have turned it off. Okay, I made that mistake just on purpose. And then we have EBIT DA. So I spelled that wrong on purpose too, didn't I? And then I did this on a debt service. Debt SERVICE. SERVICE. And debt service. Now, why didn't it like that one? Okay, just a minute. I'm sure you see it and I don't. Okay, two mistakes. First, I forgot to put in the repayment. Sorry about that, so the debt balance had to go down. Second, I had to put this thing called worksheet function into the NPV. Two mistakes I made on purpose. That really forces you to think. So this has all the little formulas in the in that are in between the blue arrows, and we kind of have a test because I said, okay, well, this one minus this one is 0. This is like a fixed number for some reason. Oh, God knows why, really. And there we have it. And it's a relatively short video on how to make a function to resolve the taxes and the circular reference.